Okay, day 19 starts with the California Gold Rush. It was about a 7 year period where people uh, ran out to California because at James Marshall at Sutter's Mill found a whole bunch of gold. A lot of them moved out to California in 1849. They were called 49ers. That's why the San Francisco football team is called 49ers in honor of all the people that came out to California looking and searching to be gold. About 300,000 people from the United States and all over the world moved into California at that time. That's why the population grew. And once the gold ran out, they liked it so much that they stayed. But it was just a 7 year period. Not a lot of people got rich from it, especially the people that came in latter days. But it was something that people thought they were going to get rich real quick. Um, the Oregon Trail is a wagon route that connected. It went from, we see the map here, from started Independence, Missouri, all the way to Oregon City. Um, it was connected the Missouri River to the valleys of Oregon. They fur traders laid it, and it was people moving out west, and that's kind of how we mapped out the West. And there's a very popular game called the Oregon Trail that you may have played when you were in elementary school, but it helped people move out west and help um, settle the western part of the United States. But before the Oregon Trail, Thomas Jefferson got two men by the name of Lewis and Clark to go out and search for, or not search, but to map the western part of the estates that we had just bought in the Louisiana Purchase. Um, Actually, they came through Paducah on their way to start this journey from St. Louis. This is the statue at the Quilt Museum here in Paducah. You can see Lewis and Clark here. This is actually the only statue in the United States that includes their dog. You can see Sacagawea here holding the U.S. flag. Her father there, that was their guide that helped them. So this is a pretty neat statue. If you ever get downtown, you need to check that out. The next thing is the Missouri Compromise. It was the compromise that said that everything north of the Missouri Compromise line at 3630 longitude latitude would be free if they were admitted to the state, and everything south of it would be a slave state, and you had to admit a free state with a slave state. So Missouri actually was admitted as a slave state, and I believe Maryland was its sister state and admitted as a free state. So that was the Missouri Compromise. And the last thing is the Boston Massacre, which truly was not a massacre at all. Actually, what happened was some people were at a local pub enjoying themselves. They came out, they started throwing snowballs at the British soldiers. The British soldiers asked them to stop. They kept on putting rocks and glass in it, throwing at the British soldiers. The British soldiers opened up fire, and it ended up killing 5 people. Now, it's one of the things that I wanted to see when my wife and I went to Boston. And it's just they have a little cobblestone manhole cover in the middle of a busy intersection. I look like the little frog from the Frogger game running through trying to get a picture of it. Kind of embarrassed my wife. But I got a picture of that. But the coolest thing that we saw was they have a graveyard there between these 2 skyscrapers that have all of the victims of the Boston Massacre there. They also have Mother Goose is buried there, Ben Franklin's parents. But what's ironic is that the first person killed in the Boston Massacre's name was Crispus Attucks, and he was a freed slave. So the first person to die in the American Revolution essentially was an African American, even though he wouldn't have been given rights if he lived in the South at that time. But he did live in the North, and he had moved up to Boston. and 4 other people were shot, and all of them are buried there in Boston. And if you ever get there, you need to check out that cemetery. It's downtown Boston, right near the Capitol building. I would not suggest trying to get out to see where the Boston Massacre happened. It is a very busy intersection, and most of you are smarter than Mr. Schooley, so you're probably not going to run into busy traffic to take that picture. So that's day 19, and I'll see you tomorrow to finish up with day 20.